Hey everyone, today is project day. What I've got is a 2013 F150 Super Crew long box, 6.5 foot box with a 3.5 turbo in it. A couple years ago, this thing developed a vibration at about 100 kilometers an hour, give or take. And I think I might have found the problem. I looked on forums, and the good thing about forums is a lot of people post the same problems. They you can read through, see what other people have done to fix those problems. The problem with a lot of those forums is they don't tell you exactly. A lot of people post on there, but they don't post what actually fixed their problem. So I went through quite a few of them, and I found that I checked the main things. I would check your wheel bearings, check your tires, check all that other stuff. All of that stuff is good on this truck. I've had no problems with that. They're all clean. U-joints are good. One post I found said that it was a drive shaft issue, and these trucks have a two-piece drive shaft. And what'll happen over time apparently is a slip yoke will wear out, and at higher speeds it'll vibrate as it's going down the road, just a tiny bit, just enough to cause that vibration, because it just wears out. Now these are a two-piece drive shaft, but they come all in one piece. You can't change U-joints on them, you can't change a steady bearing, so you have to buy a whole new drive shaft. I waited to the bitter end to find out exactly if this was going to be my one thing to do, because the drive shaft is expensive, $1,300. So that's what I'm going to do today, and hopefully that'll solve that vibration problem. It has gotten worse. It's not nasty, but it's getting bad. And I don't take this truck on the road all that often, very rarely, so I don't ever really go up to highway speeds at 100 kilometers an hour. But it's something that should be done, because when I do, it's kind of annoying. So anyways, that is going to be the project for today. I'm going to get going down the road here and set up the video and hopefully catch the vibration at the 100 kilometer an hour mark, and then change that drive shaft out, and then try it again, and hopefully that fixes it. It's a pretty expensive test to find out that it doesn't, because I can't return that drive shaft. So anyways, we'll get going. Okay, so I'm on the road now, just about to hit the 100, and see if I can get that vibration, see if it can come through on the phone here. I don't know. Yeah, you can feel it now. It'll come through on here or not, but it's there for sure. There, now it's even more pronounced. I can feel it there for sure. Don't know if it comes through on the phone, but it's definitely a vibration that is present. So again, there's a couple things it could be. Again, I've been through that on the forums. Transmission, wheel bearings, things like that. The one way to test would be to take the rear drive shaft off, put it in four-wheel drive, and drive it. But then you're gonna have oil leaking out of the transfer case, so you can't really do that. I don't think it's a transmission. It seems to be just this drive shaft, so I'm hoping it is. So we'll get to the replacement of it, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna try it with the phone down here, see if it comes in the camera a little better. I don't know. It's definitely like right around the 105 mark, 100, 105, which is annoying, because that's pretty much our speed limit up here. I don't know if you can feel that or not, or if it comes through on the camera, but hopefully it does, and hopefully it doesn't once I replace the drive shaft. Okay, there's the setup. Ready to go. I got that little piece there to lay on. There should be enough room. Everything's chalked up and ready to go. You obviously want it chalked, because when you take the drive shaft off, the park isn't going to work worth a crap. So, of course, you should be using a 12-bolt or a 12-point 12 socket for the drive shaft bolts. I don't have a 12-point 12 socket, but I do have a 12 wrench. And I've talked to a couple of people, and they said, yeah, that'll be fine, just use that. So we're going to use that and see how that goes. So there's the bolt, and right over there is the steady bearing. So those are only the 6 bolts that have to come out to replace this whole thing. So I'm sure they're going to be easy. Okay, we'll see what happens here. I can't imagine anything good, but you never know. At least it looks like it's parked at a proper angle. I'm gonna get in here. Okay, so. Running it back to be nice. Not a lot of room underneath here. Holy, it actually started to move. Impressive. Wow. I never expected that easy. Honestly, I did not. Wow. That's impressive. So now what I'm going to do is spin the drive shaft hopefully enough to get the other two in the same way. And then if that's good, then I think I'm okay. Okay, spun the drive shaft. Oh, we'll see how easy these ones are. Usually it's the very last one that's the hardest one. It strips off or does something stupid. Came too. Impressive. Oh. Looks like I'm gonna get these ones. Okay, so now that all these are clear, next thing I'm going to try is the steady bearing ones. Hi. Those look like they should be fairly straightforward. I'm sure they won't be, but at least I can get on with an impact. So those bolts loosened right off. I put this tie strap on there so that the drive shaft won't drop on me. And then that way I can take it off whenever I'm ready for it to come off. Whenever that's going to be. Probably have to get the other 4 bolts out. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we'll leave that up like that. good still. Shocker. Anyway, I'm gonna go and take the back one off, take the pinion bolts out, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, all the bolts are out. So now it's just taking this thing out of here, which I can hardly wait to see how that's gonna go, because it's heavy. Just like that, I guess. And then that comes down like that, and this just slides out of there. And hopefully with any luck, it won't be a real ugly mess. But I'm sure it will be. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Now that's it. Huh. Of course I'm caught up here, why wouldn't I be? Alright. And I'm rolling out. Well, there it is. The old drive shaft. Looks a little rough. I can see that maybe it's needs to be replaced, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna do it anyways. That'll be important. I think hopefully that matches the new one. Should be. I gave him the serial number, the VIN number, and it's an actual genuine Ford one. So we'll see. 193,000 kilometers on that thing. Pretty good. Okay, old versus new. And they look to be identical. Even the part numbers are pretty much exactly the same. The only thing is that there is an HC at the end. That one's an HP, probably an upgraded part number, something along those lines. Otherwise, that's her. Next shot, we're gonna go clean the pinion there, wire wheel it off, and then put this bad boy back in, I guess, somehow. Ready to put the new one in. I'll show you what I've done to prep for it. So I don't know if you can see that, but I cleaned off that pinion gear, whatever the hell you call that thing, pretty good. I sanded it off as much as I could with some high grit sandpaper, and then I used brake clean in there to get rid of any of the anti-seize stuff for W240 I sprayed in there earlier. So I have the new one laid out, ready to go. I also put one of the bolts back in, so you can hold the steady bearing with that as we go. So see how this goes. First thing to do is try to get this yoke into that transmission transfer case, I guess. And of course, didn't park far enough over. And this thing only weighs 150 million pounds, which is not ideal, but whatever. Any special way that goes in either. I think it just goes in. Like that. So that's good. So now, the fun part. So way up. And then where's my... million holes except anywhere you want them. I know this is not ideal. It'll probably work. I'll see how one down there. So that shouldn't be too bad. So now what I'll have to do. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so that's not too bad. I think that's going to be okay. So now I have to go and put the transmission in neutral, line up the bolts and the pinion there, so that's not too bad, I hope. Okay, so the alignment is getting better. I've got my nuts, or bolts here, sorry, with the thread locker on them. I did the same thing, brake clean them, blew them off, clean them all up so that there'd be no oil residual on there. So with any luck, this is actually going to go over here okay and not be a real pain. I mean, I'm going to try to line these up, at least a couple of these here, and hopefully it just goes nice and smooth. We'll see. That's a good sign that it actually fits in there. So that's actually, there, get the other two bolts, and then just make sure I can actually get that in there. Wow, lined up actually, surprisingly. I'm wondering if that was not quite lined up the way it was before. If I should actually try this. I don't think it was. Not that it matters, I don't think, but you know what? I think if I come this far, I think I'm gonna try to get it the right way. Because why not? That looks a little better. It looks like it was lined up that way. Does it matter? I don't know. But I don't want to take any chances. Not for 1,200 bucks. So you're probably wondering, you saw me with the ratchet in the socket, and you're probably wondering, if I didn't have a 12 mil before, how do I have one now? Well, I don't. But a 13 mil 12 point will fit over top of these, and it'll be enough just to snug them up to get them to where they need to be. And that way I don't have to spin them with a wrench by hand, because that took a while. So it's going to do it. But this year, few threads in on each one, make sure they're in. So that's good. Now, the steady bearing, which I'm sure is going to be a real gem. I'm going to try to get this from here. And I don't know if I'm getting it. There you go. So luckily they have the slot in here, so you get that one bolt started, and it'll hold it in place, and you can get the other one going. That's what I'm hoping, anyways. And I'm sure it's going to work just perfect. Oh. Wow. Actually, wasn't too bad. Just gonna change it to a different spot here. Doesn't get to fall my face. But the first thing I'm going to do is get the one to the back here done. I'll try to line these bolts up exactly where they were. I don't know. I can't even tell where that's going to be. So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. Now we'll go back to this side. I'll show you what I'm doing on here. Now I'm literally just going to use the drill to snug those up, and then I'll finish off with a wrench after. Do a cross pattern just because, I don't know, seems to be like the right thing to do at times. Okay, well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to give those steady bearings a bit of a blast. Steady bearing bolts. Okay, let's get the steady bearings up there. Snugged, not all the way. Yeah, still moving a little bit. Okay. So that's looking all right. Just got to finish that up, make sure I don't forget that. I can take this tie down off. Probably won't take it all the way off. I might just use it to snug it up a bit. There's a little bit of slack there, so that's good. Okay, and we'll do the tighten up, and we'll see how this goes. This is my cheater for the getting some extra elbow grease on that thing. Okay, I'm gonna go spin that drive shaft. I think these two are gonna be good. I'm not worried about those. But the other two, then I'll try to center this steady bearing, and I think that's it. Now there's a torque spec for these, of course. I don't know what it is exactly. Wouldn't matter anyways, because I have no way to torque it up without my 12-point socket that I don't have. So I'm going to try to get this, the side of this mounting bracket, even with the mounting bracket off the steady bearing, even with the mounting bracket that's on the truck. So level it up on both sides. I think that's got to be good, right? I mean, I don't know, but I'm gonna think that it is. Well, I don't think it's over right now. Right now. Okay. So that is it. The new drive shaft is installed. Oh, a little close there, but. And then we get to go for a drive and see if any of this actually worked. Okay, that wasn't quite as bad as I thought, so it worked out good. I should be able to go for a test drive. Always my worst part, because I don't know for sure if I did this thing right or got it going, or you know, it's a pretty big part to get wrong if you do have it wrong. So it's always my worst, and I have had my fair share of problems that I've done and I missed something or didn't do something right. So far, looks good. Looks like we got it done just in time, because those are some pretty gray ugly clouds and raindrops on the windshield. So anyways, here we go. Well, we're moving, that's a good sign. Okay, well, we'll get to the highway. I'm gonna keep this going here in a minute. And we'll get to highway speeds and see what happens. It's right now where I start to kind of freak out of it, because we're just getting going and it's still going, sounds good, looks good, but man, things go bad in a hurry. As I am aware and have witnessed and done in the past. But so far, made it to the end of the street, that's pretty good. School zone, so I'm doing, actually I don't think school's in today. No, whatever, let's go to 60. Okay, good. Smooth. Okay, just on the highway now. We'll see when we get up to 80. I just hope it fixes the problem. That doesn't really feel any different yet, because it's, but then again, it never did at this speed. Okay, there's our sign. So let's speed up and just see what we got. And like I said, I really hope it's smooth. Holy, look at that. So far, so good. No shake. No shake at all. Wow. It's amazing how much smoother that is, and how bad that one was, how used I must have been to it. because that is definitely way better. Huh. Impressive. It actually sounds better too. Feels better. Like it is smooth. Oh, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Well, holy shit. Amazingly enough, that actually worked out as planned. Uh, I just checked underneath, made sure everything's nice and solid, no leaks up at the transfer case, and everything's good. So that's impressive. It actually worked out really well. Fixed the problem, which is the most important thing. It didn't cause any more problems, which is also a good thing. So I'll check the bolts in a couple of days after I got a little bit of driving to make sure they're nice and solid. And I think that should be it. And again, that was probably a savings. The quote that I got from Ford itself was 500 Canadian dollars to change that drive shaft. I mean, that I don't know what they were going to do, because if you had a hoist and all the proper tools, which obviously I didn't have, would have been a lot quicker. So it would have been, I mean, I think you could have that thing done in an hour. It took me, closer to 2.5 hours, but whatever, still cheap. And I didn't bother checking any other shops for the discounts, because I was just going to do it on my own anyways. So that's it. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.